The only show I've ever seen where the cops are occasional.
You said the cops are what?
Occasional. They're occasionally policing.
It's just amazing when you watch that world.
Well, it depends on what perspective, because the people,
it's rolling. It's rolling.
The people's perspective is where they want, where the people want to be at. They want to be amongst the. I mean, it's called power, and this has nothing to do with police. But you can't tell these stories without the police.
Right.
But it's from these people's perspective. We want to see this side of it and show the levels of what a drug dealer is and what a drug dealer can be. Because we all know that half these motherfuckers, right? We all know a nigga that can't read or write but can stitch a wound. Right?
Right.
We know that there are a lot of dudes that came up in the ranks, whether it was the 80s and the crack era, the dope era, however it came after that, that were multi-fucking millionaires. And they basically did the same thing
in
these
business.
fucking corporate businessmen were doing, except they just was born on the wrong side of the motherfucking tracks. This is all that power's showing. You know, and we're not trying to spark a mind to go out there and be the biggest fucking drug dealer ever. We're trying to spark the mind to go out there and be the biggest corporation, black-owned business that you can fucking aspire to be. You know? And a lot of that power comes through politics. I'm not into politics at all, but I know that if we don't have a seat at the table, which I can't speak upon it, but it's shaky there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But the fact that they just signed a fucking anti-lynching bill this year, it's like, of course you ain't supposed to fucking lynch people and shit. Of course it should be against the fucking law. But think of all the bills that was passed before that.
And that wasn't.
That was so insignificant that they just said, bop. You know? And it lets you know how many seats we have at this effing table. You know, and I hate getting political.
No,
but
let's talk about it.
This is the reason why it's so hard forget minorities, black people, to attain power in these, let's call them fraternities or whatever and shit, for lack of a better word.
Right.
We don't get to join these fraternities.
The circles.
And shit.
But you know,
Go ahead.
part of that is how we grew up. When we saw the Wu-Tang coming out of Staten Island as a group, that drove us to want to be in that. Who's our idols to see in the political world?
Okay,
to drive us currently now.
In the political world, it's what they'll let us do. When it comes to hip hop and things like that, it's what we want to fucking do.
Right.
Hopefully.
And the audience that we bring to us is consumers to them. So now we have something of value that brings them to us, that makes them come in these fucking neighborhoods and find talent. Not anymore, because they, you know, but back in the day, they had to come in these neighborhoods.
It's glamorous to be a politician.
To be honest, like, the reason why they go after, like, musicians and actors and try to get them to, like, to endorse certain people that's running, it's because with the way the system is built, the higher rank that you have is the more people that you can control. So like there's a block assembly or whatever, that's a certain area. Then there's the borough president, that's that area. Then there's the mayor. Then you got the governor. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's all, but it's all about how many people can you move? How many people can you sway or get to go in this direction?
Sheeple.
Right.
Sheeple.
But it's not just sheeple. People might just believe in what you believe in.
Or they have the same
and
values
you're the voice.
or whatever. I mean, they can agree on one fucking point, and the other person they don't agree on any points with, and they're gonna go with what's that fucking saying? Lesser evil? The lesser evil saying.
Right.
The lesser two evil.
Right. So you look at it like, if you're a rapper, you dropping albums, you going multi-platinum, this, that. How many people can you move?
Millions.
Right.
Possibly, yeah.
That's why when people was like, Kanye want to run for president, I didn't laugh.
I didn't laugh neither.
No, I choked.
I was mad.
Why?
Why?
Because I felt that it would mess with the voting system.
That's why I choked.
Sense. And we were at a point now where more people were voting, more people of color were voting more than ever.
Right.
And I just wanted to keep that wave rolling. And I mean, at the end of the day and shit, it doesn't, the vote, they say the vote counts and it does count.
Right.
But as far as it mattering, it matters as much as Black lives do. to this society right now. That's how much our votes matter, as much as our lives.
But I guess it's a incentive to make people believe that they have the power.
Well, you have, and I hate this fucking word, but hope.
Hope.
That person's gonna do the right thing. The same way you lend somebody some money and shit, you know, like especially a
I hope
family
you're gonna
member.
give it back.
It's like, I hope this nigga get his shit back, man. I hope he know. Oh, I hope he knows what I'm doing right now is taken away from something else I was doing that was a little more important than, you know. But it's always that hope, and people flock to churches for that.
Right.
That hope.
And churches don't get taxed.
They don't get taxed. They don't
At
get
all.
taxed. But I don't disagree with
I don't
doing that
disagree.
because
I don't
it's
disagree
like
with it either.
whatever gives you your moral code, so be. I read comic books, and in a funny sense, that shit gave me a moral code and shit. So whatever it is that helps you get through your day, if that keeps you cool, calm, and it makes you happy, by all means do it.
Right.
But what I'm saying is there's things going on while you trying to stay calm and cool. There are people moving pieces that affect your life directly, and you don't even fucking know about it. It's crazy.
That's what power really is.
Exactly.
See, at the end of the day, power is the illusion of choice. And the ability to enforce your will on someone else.
Yes.
If I can create the illusion of choice, if I can make you think that you have free will, that's power. I made you think that you had a choice. Meanwhile, both options lead to me.
You know,
So I guess that when they say made in the image of God, that's what you're talking about. Because people are very selective with what they want to place. You know, this was the power of God.
of
And
course. But that's
this
in
was just
anything in
us.
life.
But
I don't
this
even
was
want
the
to.
power. You dig what I'm
I
saying?
don't even want to do
depends
that
on-
for God. That's anything in life.
That depends on whose image we're talking about. Like whose images are we painting this out? Is the image
No,
of
the image that there's an ultimate power that makes things happen, but you only give credit to the good.
Well, no, see, and Bigger can correct me if I'm wrong, but free will is in the Bible.
Right.
You have the choice to do good or bad, and the consequences come behind it.
But
God, as I understand, and Big, I want you to definitely jump in. The way it's set up, God isn't enforcing his laws on you. He's giving you free will, and he's telling you, here's what I want you to do. But I'm not going to stop you from doing any of this other stuff.
You ever read Exodus?
According to the scriptures, and this is a really great topic. This is something that comes up often, and I have to speak about. All right. Illusion is really, the free will is really an illusion. And
We had an argument about this.
Yeah, and this is how you know it. If you study the scriptures and you understand this whole life that we live is a fork in the road. So when it's telling you about, like you have the choice, yeah, you have a choice of who your master is going to be. That's what the scripture is telling you. So you're going to either choose God or you're going to choose the devil.
Yeah.
Once you make that choice, there is a fork in the road. That's what the scriptures are saying. You come to the fork. It's already laid out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you choose the devil, you're on that road.
So
You know, if God is your master, you're on that road.
in the book of Exodus, it says that God hardened Pharaoh's heart,
Absolutely.
almost like so I could bust a flex on him. You know what I mean? So I could send these plagues through to show you what it really is.
Right.
But I'm gonna make you front. You dig what I'm saying? So then when you talk about free will and you read a part like that, you're like, wait a minute.
Well, he was manipulated.
He
Right.
did the same thing
Exactly.
with Judas.
Because they also say that there's a bigger plan. And for me to get this plan off, this has to happen. There's a bigger plan
I
in
think
mind.
the
Like,
influence of religion is so powerful because what's the three things that will make somebody not want to take someone's life? Revenge, jail, and then the fear of you not going to heaven. If you rank them, a lot of times people want to get into heaven before, oh, I think I can get away with it. I won't get caught. Oh, this guy's a pussy. Ain't no retaliation coming back. But God always sees the wrong. And that will keep a person thinking like, yo, if I put this negative energy out, is this gonna go back to my family members? Because sometimes the penalty don't come back to you. It might come back to your moms, your daughter, your sister. And you gotta sit there and say,
depending on how it is.
of course.
Like
you know?
I used to you know, I used to run around sticking people up.
Yeah.
And then one of my closest friends.
You're the worst.
And then one of my closest friends got killed in a stick-up.
What'd that do to you?
It messed my head up. It made me kind of look at, because he used to tell me, yo, what are you doing? You need to go rap.
You thought that was your karma?
Not my karma, but a lesson. It was like the one person that was making MySpace pages for me and trying to get me to come to the studio all the time passes in something that I'm out there doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kind of like
I got
messed me up.
Yeah.
Yo, that free will shit. Let's get back to that right there. Okay, free will. Is it free will? Well, you gotta take a shit, but you ain't got time to go, but you don't want to go in the airport, but this shit is bubbling, so you gotta go. Is that free will? I'm just asking.
Yeah, that's not free will.
That is not free will, brother, because I would. There's been times where I had to shit in the airport bathroom. That's how bad it was.
You opted to eat whatever it was.
There you go. Free will.
There you go.
I love it.
You chose to eat whatever it was, and nobody told you
yeah,
to
yeah,
eat Taco Bell before the flight.
Salute.
Now this is
Murder.
happening. Oh, word? White Castle?
That was your choice.
Check this
Eat
out.
that White Castle, Meth.
That's dope.
It's hot for trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to see.